Hi, my name is Amrita. Today I'll tell you about how to throw out pixels in virtual reality without anyone noticing. Your first question might be, okay, what kind of pixels? So you've heard about rendering, you've heard about triangles, but I'm going to specifically be talking about videos of bears because this is what I like to watch in my free time. So usually, when I come home from a long day on the computer, I go home and I turn on YouTube and I type Planet Earth bears and I just play for hours. So this is usually what's playing as I cook or as I do my laundry or whatever's happening. But I live in Seattle, and it's a renter's nightmare out there. And what this means is that my landlord can just redo walls in my apartment without asking me and leave my internet connection like that for about 6 months. So that was pretty miserable. And what that meant was that the bear videos that I like to watch in my free time ended up looking like this. And I did all the things that you do. You refresh, you turn it on and off again. And none of it really worked because when I ran a speed test, what you find is that the network connection is slow. There's nothing you can do. This is really frustrating to me because I'm, in my day job, a grad student working on virtual reality and video rendering. And I knew that there was a way that I can make this work. And I wasn't happening. And it was very frustrating to me. So now I'll tell you about the way that I could watch this video while on a connection like reality shows here. To explain to you how to do this, I have to make you all optical scientists. I am also not an optical scientist. I am a computer person. So we'll do a very technical discussion on what the human eye is like. So this is my technical drawing of a human eyeball. I took one from a textbook and I drew over it for you. So there are things on this eye. This is a cross-section, so it's not straight on, but on the side. And there are things here that you're all familiar with. So in the front here, we have the cornea. This is the thing that you might scratch occasionally. Then you have the pupil here. In the center, you have a lens. This is the thing that the light focuses into when you are looking at things and taking in the scene around you. On the back here, we've got a very technical drawing of the retina. So you can see it's skinny on the top and bottom. It's a little fatter in the middle. And then you have this optic nerve here, and this is the thing that sends the light signals to your brain. So now we're all optical science experts. I can continue on. But one thing that I learned about when I was doing my research is that when the light comes in through the lens, you've got the straight-on light, and it hits the part of the retina that's the thickest in the middle, and that area is called the foveal region. And the fovea is very important because it's the thickest part. And what this means is most of your photoreceptors in your eye are located in the middle. So here's a graph that everyone seems to agree with. And what this is showing, so on the x-axis, you have the distance from that center foveal region, so it's going up and down. That's why the numbers are negative and positive. And then the y-axis, we have the number of photoreceptors and some density per square millimeters. It's not important, but what you can see is that in the foveal region, you have a lot more photoreceptors than you do, and then it falls off really rapidly. So in the center, most of your photoreceptors are perceiving things really densely, but it falls off very fast. And in the foveal region, it has about 95% of the photoreceptors, and then the rest of your optic nerve is taking in 5% of the scene for your peripheral vision. So that's what the peripheral vision thing comes from. You've got your foveal region and your peripheral region. So this is also where the 95 number from my talk comes from. It's the foveal region. So why are we talking about virtual reality? What is special about looking at the fovea and virtual reality? And the reason that we're looking at virtual reality is that there are lots of kinds of screens that you might be looking at your bear videos on. For instance, you might be watching them on your phone during this talk. I'm okay with that. But if you're doing that, then you're holding your phone some distance away from your eyes. And what's happening is that if you look at the density of the pixels on your phone and the distance that you hold your phone away, you take up most of your phone's space with that. If you're sitting at a desktop monitor watching your bear videos, you're sitting a little bit further away, but your screen is also a lot larger. And you are looking at about 70% of the pixels on your desktop monitor. But a VR headset is where things get fun. The VR headset is like a standard phone, but you keep it really close to your eye. And also, the display is a lot bigger than your regular. It's either your phone display or much more dense. And what this means is that you end up having a much smaller foveal region compared to the rest of the pixels. And because it's so close, as you move around, what you're focused on, the thing that you're seeing is a very small percentage of the rest of the pixels in the scene. So you can afford to, play some tricks there, and maybe it'll be okay because you're not really perceiving it at such a high density like before. And if you like numbers better than my pictures, the green is the foveal region and the blue is the peripheral. So it's basically flipped on a phone. 96% of the pixels are foveal, And on a 2016 VR headset, only 4% of them are. So you can see there's a lot of room we have to like play around. Okay, so now I've told you how, why we're going to do what we're going to do in VR, but how will I do it? And it turns out you can do some like really easy tricks to get away with it. So here's that graph I showed you before. Here is my bear video. And the foveal region, if we are kind of playing we're doing an estimation. So we'll say that like that's the foveal region right there. And so okay, now I want to throw out the rest of these pixels. How am I going to do that? The easiest way that people found that works really well is you can just scale the rest of that to be really small. And it maps, if you map it pretty nicely, so the foveal area that you're looking at is 95%, and then you scale that to be 5% of the size, it ends up working pretty well. I would show you on a VR headset, but I didn't have enough for everyone. So what we'll do instead is here I've like enlarged a version of it. And so you can see that in the center, this circle is what we'll pretend is our foveal region. And I want you to look really closely at it while the rest of the scene moves, or while the rest of the video, operates as follows. So yeah, if you look really closely, you might notice that like the things around you are blurry. But the key is that as long as we keep the thing in the center really sharp and you don't really look away from it, you can get away with throwing out all those pixels. So the thing that I've scaled up is like 5% of the size of the thing in the middle. But as long as you watch it in really great detail, you don't really notice. And this effect, obviously, you're all looking at a screen, you're all very far away. As you know, your foveal region is much bigger. But if you do this on a headset, what ends up happening is that you don't really see it. And if you move that dot around, as long as you keep looking where the foveal region is, then you can get away with this hack. But it is a hack, and the thing that I've been talking about and glossing over is the fact that in a VR headset, you can do this because often they have eye trackers. And not everyone has an eye tracker sitting around. So how would I do this if I were at home and my internet was bad and I wanted to get this to work myself? You could put a neural network on it. So this is a neural network that some very smart vision researchers have produced. And what it's doing is it's kind of collecting a superset of where everyone could possibly be looking. And it uses it based on eye tracker data from other people. But what it did is it synthesized that for this video specifically. I actually think it's a little bit off because that bird should have shown up. But what this is doing is it's saying these are the places people are looking. So if I didn't have an eye tracker, I could instead just take the places where we guessed people were looking and then downscale the rest of it and send it to your display the same way. And you would end up getting the same effect of reducing the number of pixels while still having a high resolution video. Cool. Anyway, that's it. That's the talk. If you are interested in other kinds of perceptual tricks, there are lots of them. I'm really excited for people to continue deploying these on VR headsets, any kinds of headsets, so I can continue watching videos at low bitrate and high quality of user experience. So thanks. Yeah.